What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist here with
Gersh1.
and today we're back at it answering your questions time and time again in this endless loop that may or may not be endless. Welcome to For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. And my stomach feels a little upset, so if you guys hear a bunch of like gurgles and growls and stuff like that, just know that it's my stomach.
Yeah, we have to focus on your stomach's mental health. That's why it's upset, right?
Yeah, or the what is it called? Bioenvironment inside my, it's not environment.
Your gut.
My gut microbes are off.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually been thinking of fasting. Comment down below if you guys have ever fasted to improve your health in your stomach. This question comes from Condor DCS. How big is the Tau Empire in reality? How many planets do they own?
Well, in reality, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
In the 40K universe, it takes up a good portion of space, but it's very small compared to like the Imperium of Man, the
Galaxy in general.
Yeah, the galaxy in general. It's just a small sector of space over in the eastern fringes. And the thing as to why they haven't really expanded so much is because the Tau don't have a proper, reliable means of warp travel or crossing vast amounts of spaces.
Faster than light, yeah.
Yeah, faster than light travel, which is why they expand in spheres. So you have the planet of Tau, and then you have the first sphere expansion, which is where they went out of the system, and then the second sphere, third sphere, and then they tried doing the star-tied nexus, which basically flung them into the warp, and they came out all fucked up.
Traumatized.
Yeah,
PTSD.
really. Yeah. They were killing their auxiliaries, and that sphere expansion created a wormhole. So there's a wormhole that if you travel in here, you get flung into the other half of the galaxy, and that's where the fifth sphere expansion is currently being developed, worked on, fought against chaos and all this stuff. So,
yeah. But like you said, it's nowhere near the size of the Imperium.
Mm-mm.
Not even the size of like Ultramar in its domain.
Yeah.
Which is why they almost got wrecked.
Yeah, honestly, if the Imperium focuses on them or any big force, really, like they're done.
Yeah. Then he has a part 2. Can Commissars execute Mechanicus personnel if they fail to perform their duties? So for the most part, the Adeptus Mechanicus and the Imperial Guard are separate. So if like there's a campaign, higher, like the command structure will communicate with each other, but down in like the just regular foot soldiers and stuff, they won't really interact that much.
Right. And when it comes to like the AdMech and the Skitarii, they already have their protocols.
Yeah.
Like they're already getting fed the information of what to do, when to do it. And if a commissar does is, hey, do this. Yeah. That's going against their
protocol.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're robots. Well, cyborgs.
Androids.
Yeah.
Sexy. I mean, we could agree on that.
all those shiny metal parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, bits. Yeah, good question though. Next one.
This one is by the Mandela Bird. What do you think GW has to do to make the Eldar a bigger threat? They don't seem to control as much as the other factions, and their numbers are going down.
Yeah. I don't think that GW wants to make the Eldar a bigger threat.
No.
I think like their whole story is like they are that the lost, no, not the lost race. What is it called? The dying race.
Mm-hmm. It's like, dang, where are you getting all them colors? Are you dyeing them? But yeah, the Eldar, they got a lot going for them, honestly.
Yeah. They
have very awesome lore spanning to like the War in Heaven. You've got gods that have been manifesting through avatars. You got the Dark Eldar. You've got Exodites. You've got Harlequins. You have a ton to explore with the Eldar. The thing that holds them back is their models are so old.
Yeah.
It's like, that's why many people look at the Eldar line and it's like, whoa, these things haven't been updated in 30 years.
Yep.
Why? So I think that's the biggest thing holding the Eldar back. I guess when you say, why don't you make them a threat, I think that's also another means of asking, why aren't the Eldar more present, more notable in the 40K universe?
Yeah. And they're really just an auxiliary force for, like, a plot.
Yeah.
They always seem like the helpers. So, like, the main people going on the quest is obviously the Imperium, and then they're just kind of side pieces, kind of like what with Gilliman and his side piece.
Yvrain.
Yeah, that's what it was. So it was just like kind of a sidekick.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you need this narrative to be pushed forward? Well, let's add a little Eldar.
Yeah. But their lore is really good. Like, I don't know why people don't play Craftworld as much. Like, I think what you said is true, though. Like, the models, because the models look so old. Yeah.
And not just that, but they don't even have models for all their units, which is crazy to even think about. Like, why isn't GW focusing on them? Whenever they do come out with new units, it's like, yeah, that's cool and all, but I mean, their basic troop is so old. Like, some of them are even metal models still.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. They need a revival, kind of like how the Orcs got with like the Beast Snagas and these Grot rigs, and like they just got a lot this edition.
Yeah.
And that's definitely what the Eldar need. So maybe when the 9th edition Codex drops for the Eldar, they get something like this.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Next question comes from Donnie Khan. What Space Marine captain and his chapter tragically turned to chaos while trying to help out a planet and its inhabitants but encountered constant insurrections? Love your content, by the way. You seem to have a very specific captain in mind. I did a 40 Facts video like a while back about a situation kind of like that. I wish I could remember the name of the Chaos Warband, because they did turn traitor because of the fact that the Imperium, or because they were trying to help a planet, and then the Imperium didn't like how they helped the planet. Basically, they got mad because they killed like an entire hive city or something like that, and they just got mad and they were like, you know what, we're gonna become pirates now. The Space Marines did.
Piratas del Caribe.
Yeah, they were real Don Omars. Speaking about Don Omar, Don Krill says, fun fact, Spanish is also very common in Sweden. I happen to be half Spanish myself, but we have one of the biggest Chileno populations in the world, plus many others from Spain and Latin America. Abrazos.
Nice, I didn't know that.
Chileno. Yeah.
Che.
Yeah.
This next question comes from D Stonks 333. Besides Grotch and Gretchen and everything else, what else grows from orc spores? Like, do plants grow too?
Yeah, the fungus.
Yeah, pretty much every orcoid comes from an orc spore. Gretchen, orcs, grots, squigs, squiggly beasts, squig hogs, squig goths, and they're not just going through a phase. But yeah, everything you can think of, it's all from the spore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next question.
This one is by... we already did that one.
I have one from Devlight Heart the Wise. What if you two were undercover emperors acting like some nerdy fans? Maybe.
2 emperors? That's heresy.
In reality, the emperor can just like disguise himself as whatever he wants, right? Because he turned into an old man,
old women,
a girl with a dog.
Yeah, it's like, why a dog?
Yeah. So maybe the reason you guys haven't seen our bottom part is because it's just the emperor's legs down here. Not just his third, but...
Yeah, that's true. Speaking about third legs and bottom parts and body parts, the Mandela bird asks, now if pee is stored in the balls and girls don't pee, then what's the function of the boobs?
To store milk, man.
Milk, lemonade. Around the corner, fudge is made.
This question comes from Puppy SB. Pregunta. Whatever happened to Brava Alpha Busa TTS? He hasn't posted any content in months. Did GW copyright strike him or something? I miss my 40K comic relief. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know it always takes a while for him to like upload.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think maybe like he's just working on material or something, because I haven't heard of him officially saying like, "Hey, we're done" or anything like that.
Yeah. Next question.
This one's by Isaac Langdon. Why is it that Nurgle seems to be the most technologically advanced god? Shouldn't it be Tzeentch?
Nurgle's not the most technologically advanced god.
No, if anything, a lot of their Marines are like from 30K. They still have that old school armor.
Yeah.
Who would you say is the most technologically advanced? I don't think it's Tzeentch, because Tzeentch is more magic and sorcery than like technology.
Yeah. I honestly, none of them.
Yeah.
They all use warp powers, so it's all fantasy style stuff. When you have the Dark Mechanicus, they're not like.
You don't really. It's like chaos unaligned, undivided.
Yeah.
That like like you said, the Dark Mechanicus, the Iron Warriors, that's all undivided chaos.
Yeah.
So that makes the most sense to me.
Yeah. And now I'm thinking like maybe you think that Nurgle is most technologically advanced because they have like more vehicles, but I think that's just because their model line got updated recently. Well, not even recently. It was when the Indomitus box came out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This next one is by Joel Leva, or probably Joel Leva. I'm trying to set up my Space Marine chapters so that they're based off of a dead craft world now inhabited by humans. Would that even be possible? Like, I know Ordo Xenos would be up on that, but I figured if it's run by Space Marines and moves around, Ordo Xenos can suck it.
Yeah, suck it. Yeah, you could also say that it's like some type of watch fortress that they adopted, because the Death Watch, they have a series of like fortresses and just stations, watch stations, and a lot of their technology comes from the Dark Age of technology. But what's to say that like humans found a craft world that was abandoned for whatever reason, started building on it, then the Age of Strife happened, and then it was rediscovered by the Great Crusade, and then it just like it's basically like layering on top of Eldar technology, or humans layering technology on top of Eldar technology. So it's definitely doable. You just have to like kind of understand the timeline and how that craft world lost its population and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that's a cool concept too, though.
That's another example of how the Eldar lore is really, really badass. You guys should check out our 40 facts on the paths, the Eldar paths. It really opens your eyes and makes you realize that like the society of the Eldar is very, very unique and very expansive.
Yeah, it's like that one song, Los Caminos de la Vida.
Exactly, just like that one. Yep. Next question.
This one is by Jimmy McHugh. Will there ever come a point when the Imperium will outlaw exterminatus? Since the threats to the Imperium are huge, won't the Imperium reach a point where they'll need every resource they can get from these planets that they're blowing up?
No.
Nah, this is grim dark, man. They don't care about resources. It's all about Michael Bay explosions.
Yep.
And that's it.
Because think about it, like a regular Imperial planet gets like completely polluted. It turns into a wasteland, and they still they live off of recycled air, and it's just disgusting. Right. So yeah, humanity does not care about any of that stuff.
Right. I mean, even looking at Terra, like all the oceans dried up and everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's sad.
It is sad. But it's grimdark, and it's what we love.
This question comes from the big one. What brand of tequila is most likely to get you totally effed up? Jose Cuervo is pretty gross. But I don't know if it'll get you messed up. Any tequila will get you messed up if you drink enough of it.
That's true.
But yeah, I think out of all the tequilas I've ever had, Jose Cuervo is probably not very... The silver, just like your basic like $20 bottle. It's not very good. Next question.
This is by Ben Williams. What are some of the strongest, or at least most interesting Croot or Croot mutations to have developed by eating different things?
I think my favorite one is when Croot eat orcs, because they just turn into like big, brawny, like Croot. There used to be conversions of them, and it was a really bad conversion, because what they would do is they would take the arms of an orc boy and put them on a Croot. It looked ridiculous.
Yeah, it's basically like if you, like that SpongeBob episode where he got those like beefy arms.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's been a lot of things that the Croot have done that I've really liked. Like there is one where they eat a bunch of Eldar and they get psychic powers. There's some Croot that have wings. But I think I'll go with the Narlox. Because what's more badass than a T-Rex Croot?
Yep.
They're not smart, but still.
And remember that was bad. Like that was Shapers not really paying attention to what their people were eating, so they devolved to that.
Right. Croot Hounds are like that. The Crootox are like that too. So yeah, the Shapers have a lot on their plates. Boom, boom, that they have to pay attention to. Because at first you're like, oh, look at this new strange Xeno creature. They've got tough chitinous skin. Let's eat that. And then it turns out that instead of getting the tough skin, they devolve into just becoming bugs.
Yeah.
Or they now have to hibernate or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot. I'm even surprised as to how they even know like the biology of this.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you're not specifically eating like the wings to get the wings. It's about just eating that thing in general, and then you may or may not get certain traits.
Right. I guess that's the benefit of doing it through multiple generations, where a Shaper could be like, you know what, we're not going the way that I wanted to.
Yeah.
Let's stop eating those squirrels. This question comes from Jamie Garth. Would Master Chief from Halo be equivalent to a Chapter Master or just a regular pleb Marine? I want to say a regular Marine.
Yeah. But at the same time, I was also going to say maybe like Sergeant or Captain level, because the dude's super lucky and he's like single-handedly almost taken out like a whole race, I guess you could say, like the Arbiters and all that stuff.
Yeah, and the problem is that Master Chief is a named character, essentially.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
It's hard. Next question.
Corbin Hunter. Say if the Eye of Terror was closed, what would Abaddon do? Where would he go? Would he even have survived? Because I thought he got wounded during the fighting. Now, if I remember correctly, Trazian and Call had activated the Cadian Pylon network and potentially could have closed the Eye of Terror or have shrunken it. So Abaddon had no choice but to sacrifice the Blackstone Fortress after the warp connection was cut. It was a pricey loss, but better than being cut off from the primary warp rift permanently, right?
So your main question is, what if the Eye of Terror was closed? Yeah, I mean, there's other ones, so like the Maelstrom is there, and then there's one in the Calixtus sector too.
Yeah.
But they're not as big as the Eye of Terror.
Right, or as pertinent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why Cadia was such like a stronghold and such an importance to the Imperium, which was another reason as to why Abaddon chose that one, because like he knew, oh, if this goes down, this is really gonna hurt the Imperium.
Yeah. And that's how you got the cicatrice.
Because when you ram a fortress into somebody's eye, you get a scar.
Yep.
Oh, and just out of like randomly, the other day I was on Twitter and I saw this little snippet of like it was Henry Cavill trying to promote like the next season of The Witcher.
Oh yeah.
And he said that he saw like this chandelier on the set, and it reminded him of a Blackstone Fortress.
Blackstone fortresses don't look like a chandelier.
But he said like just the shape of the chandelier. Like it didn't look like a chandelier. It was like this weird like black shapy thing.
No sabe. He doesn't have a 40K lore channel. He doesn't know.
And he was like geeking out, but he knew that nobody else on set knew about it, so he just had to like hold that in.
Yeah.
But he's like, since I'm on an interview, I'm gonna say this, and some of you guys will get it, and others won't.
Okay. For some reason, whenever he says anything about 40K, I feel like it's a marketing thing. Like, I want to get cool with this fan base.
So
that
why
I
that
can
fan base out of everything?
Because he's from the UK, and 40K is a UK thing. So it's like, these are my people type of thing. But it's cool that, you know, I mean, he plays Adeptus Custodes.
So if he played the orcs, he would have been more open to it.
Yes.
You could see him playing an orc.
I can't see him playing orcs. No. Another thing too. Oh, and then I've also been seeing a lot of Spanish Warhammer 40K YouTubers from obviously Spain. But it's cool. It's refreshing to like see new faces, and that YouTube is finally like showing these,
promoting.
Yeah. So that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Next question comes from Isaac Langdon, and this will be the last one. I got into Warhammer through Total War, Warhammer 1 and 2. Have you played the game? Are you excited for the third game? Do you have any guesses on future DLCs?
I don't think we've ever played any of the Total Wars.
No, but I binge watch a lot of like other YouTubers playing it. I always talk shit about people who watch other people play video games, and yet I'm that person. I really want to play Total War. I know that my computer's not built for it.
Mm-hmm. But hey, they're coming out with that little portable like PC gaming thing.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Yeah.
That's crazy though, because if you can get emulators on that, dude, you could play Game Boy, you could play Switch, you can play PS Vita stuff on there. Like everything is open.
Dreamcast?
Yeah, they got emulators for everything.
I can't wait. Yeah. Did we answer his question?
What was his question? Yeah, I completely forgot.
Oh, do you...
Oh, yeah, Total War. Have we played? What do we think about it?
Yeah. So, I wish I could play.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the whole concept of maneuvering your army a certain type of way. So, I want to play.
Yeah, back in the day, we played Dawn of War, and that was tons of fun.
Yeah.
But it's like now, technology has progressed.
Yeah. I think it would have been fun, because remember when we used to play Dawn of War, it was like, hey, we'll give each other 10 minutes to build our stuff.
Yeah.
And then we would fight, and nobody would really win.
That's true.
We would just kind of keep battling. I think it would be a lot of fun to replay Dawn of War, but this time don't put that rule of like...
Wait 10 minutes.
Yeah. Just like straight up, let's see who wins and fight and stuff like that. But yeah. Those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
This has been The Sound Alchemist.
Gershwin.
And we are out.
Oh, if you could put my